The Highlanders sporting the all-red uniforms with the white numbers, and the Stallions sporting the all-white uniforms with the navy blue numbers. On the draw for the Highlanders, number 14, Sally Flynn.
Interesting that Chris goes right to Sally to start the game on the draw, as opposed to yesterday where you sort of waited until the end of the first quarter to change things up.
I believe it was Gwen Nassau at one point as well, carrying a hefty load from a draw standpoint, and Sally Flynn came in and made big-time plays for this Highlanders unit from a draw standpoint. The Stallions starting the game at this one, navigating up the left wing.
This is sort of, because of the way that these teams play defensively, it's almost like a probing type of approach to offense. See what you can find early, not necessarily because you think you're going to score early goals, but you kind of want to see if you can flesh out some defensive wrinkles that each team throws out.
A lot of backdoor cuts here. Great ball movement here from the Stallions early. And the Highlanders nearly get the forced turnover.
And they did.
And they do indeed. First possession change of the day. When we look at the names that had considerable performances as well yesterday, in the case of the Stallions, Madison Vargas, Jamie Wolfel, and Emma Switter were a few names that were constantly called upon time and time again. And in the case of the Highlanders, of course, as we previously mentioned, Sally Flynn, Lily Ventura, and Piper Bell, just a few, as well as Michelin D'Amico.
Neither team likes to give the other team room to breathe. You'll see a little bit more pressing out on these teams defensively than you will see from most of the high school programs. They just tend to want to make it a little more difficult.
And that is what separates the goods from the greats, because obviously for any relatively solid unit, you never want to concede ground on the defensive end, as we have our first penalty of the day.
Looks like we're going to have a free position. Giselle Jaskowicz looks like we're going to get the first one.
And this is an area where the Stallions were able to dominate in yesterday's matchup against the Community School of Naples. We'll see if they can strike here. Not the Stallions, the Highlanders, excuse me. Jaskowicz, the sophomore midfielder.
We stopped on it, but another foul called, so we're going to get a restart, this time in the middle, as opposed to the hash mark to the left of her. A little better angle here. She's right-handed. Right foot in front, so you know she's going to go to goal.
Dead center, she's on the attack, and
Big
a great save there for the Stallions.
Egbert with the save, grabbing the ground ball.
Stallions back on the move here, attempting the clear as they feed it up the left wing. Switter has it near midfield. Great ball movement.
Got numbers, 4-on-3.
Stallions stop on a dime here. Great ball movement in general, and they feed it inside, and they strike one right into the back of the net for our first goal of the day. The Stallions lead 1-0 with 8:26 remaining in the first quarter.
Madison Vargas with the goal.
And for those of you at home, expect to hear that name called upon more than a few times today. Sally Flynn once again stepping up for the Highlanders, and Emma Switter for the Stallions. great snag here from the Stallions as they are once again back on the attack.
Draw control perfectly placed into the partner on the circle.
Vargas feeds it to Sweater at the top of the key. She hesitates initially, steps through, fighting through contact with two Highlanders defenders.
Okay, looks like we're getting the free position here. Sweater found a bit of a seam there, forced the issue, and drew the foul.
Sweater, a long strider, able to generate some acceleration relatively quick. And a great save there from the Highlanders.
Again, it was sort of, we talk about the stick side high. And it was just, it was about as well placed for the goalie as you're going to get on that one. She didn't really have to move the stick at all. But the defense, again, a lot of times that's because the defense pinches in and takes away options. And because of that, the goaltender can sort of read and knows what are the options that they can sort of defend against. And sometimes that option is just you take the shot and there's really not much else that you can do with it, and goaltender's just right there for it. So both goalies have now caught a free position save.
My apologies there, Lee. Calling back to yesterday's matchup, Cynthia Quiroz had quite the game during Episcopal's charge back and attempting to get back into that game. She held her ground very well and was part of the reason that the Highlanders were able to hold strong in that one. So if she has an equally dominant performance here today, I will not be surprised at all.
Well, that's exactly what she did in last year's final. She was completely dominant in last year's final, all the key saves. Even though Heritage Delray made a late charge to get back into the game, it was still Quiroz's earlier saves that kept them from getting close enough.
Of course, discussing the state championship opportunities for the Highlanders. They secured their first in 2019, followed up in 2021, and they earned their third, as we just previously mentioned, this past season. So they are fighting currently for not just a back-to-back championship opportunity, but the fourth in girls program history. Highlanders back on the move here, charging up the left wing.
And that turnover was sort of the unforced version, and you shouldn't see too many of those in this game.
The Highlanders taking their time here, feeding it around the perimeter. A little bit of contact there from the Stallions. Bailey Bosley there applying the pressure. We have the Highlanders placing it back into play here.
That's my New York Islanders.
I've had that slip up a couple times today and yesterday, man. It's just the I and the high.
Oh, just think of Mel Gibson or whoever it was that was in the movie.
Bingo.
Double team.
Great pressure applied on the initial front from the Stallions. And Catherine Devanzo doing a phenomenal job of weighting the Stallions' force and cradling it through the pressure, or through the contact.
For those who are not familiar with the girls' sport as much, think of it as trying to stick handle in a phone booth.
The Highlanders in desperate need of assistance here as Madison Park is being swarmed along the end line.
That's just perfect, man. Woman-to-woman defense.
The Stallions are doing a phenomenal job on the defensive front as Ventura struggles to regain the possession.
Certainly a very physical start by Heritage Delray.
No doubt about that as Van Mark DeLumen wades off the defender.
Call the ward off.
And Van Mark DeLumen is not so happy with that call as she attempts to jar the ball free. She did so initially, but the Stallions continue to charge on.
It's nice clear there by Heritage under pressure.
And what
Another
a phenomenal save once again from Cynthia Quiroz. This girl's an absolute brick wall in the goal circle. Highlanders doing a good job of controlling the clock here, but they are in desperate need of a goal here early on to find their footing a little bit. Quick score update, the Stallions lead the Highlanders 1-0 with 2:44 remaining in the first quarter. And Lee, this matchup has lived up to the human chess match moniker that you gave.
Just looking for little advantages here. Trying to get draw a shooting space call. It's very hard to do it against these defenses, for the simple reason that they press out so much more, that they're within the stick length, so it's very hard to, in effect, draw the shooting space against them.
Stallions providing a very unique defensive approach. The Highlanders attempting to navigate it. They feed it back into X. Looking for a possible opportunity. It may have presented itself right there, and it does. The Highlanders find themselves on the board for the first time today as Giselle Jaskowitz ties it up at 1 apiece with 1:43 remaining in the first quarter.
When we're talking about little things, there was a good example of that. Giselle was able to sort of get leverage into the middle, half step, got her hands free, and because she's a right-hander, the defense couldn't reach over to stop the shot. She had a clear look and went top left corner. So again, just one of those little bits.
Great finish there from Jaskowitz. Awaiting our third draw of the day between Switter and Flynn. It is up. Ground ball scramble. And the Highlanders secure possession once again. Could possibly play this one out. Awaiting a possible final shot opportunity right before the buzzer. And I was just about to say, not unless the Stallions have something to say about it, but foul called on the play.
Notice that the defender who committed this foul has to start behind the ball carrier.
Nice shot fake there from Madison Park. They decide to retreat back out towards the right wing and reset here. Switter doing a phenomenal, not Switter. Hunter Brown doing a phenomenal job of applying defensive pressure there.
More an incidental contact, so that's why they're not going to call that a yellow card.
Yeah, free positioning here from about 12 to 13 out. Stallions doing a phenomenal job of sliding into the proper positioning. They nearly had leverage there. A great find on the left side once again. And the Highlanders making it count as Catherine Davanzo uncorks an absolute missile into the back of the cage to extend the lead to 1 in favor of the Highlanders, 2-1 with 25.2 remaining here in the first quarter.
She scored the goal, but the play was made by Giselle Jaskowitz, who got down the left side, drew the double team. No one slid to pick up the ball carrier, or to pick up the open player, and she just put it away.
Jaskowitz playing well beyond her years, just the sophomore. The midfielder understanding the gravity she possesses, allowing the defense to collapse and setting up her teammate for a perfect play there. Switter and Flynn approaching midfield once again. We'll see if the Stallions can answer here. 25 seconds remaining. Can they make a play in limited time? It is up. Ground ball scramble. Switter hustles for it initially.
That's got to be a technical. They left the restraining area before possession was established. Lake Highland ball.
And here we go. They're on the move here. 10 seconds remaining. They're feeding it up the midfield. They have an open backdoor cut along the left side. And they feed it over the top, and Lily Ventura, just in the nick of time, feeds it into the back of the goal. And just like that, the Highlanders take a 2-point lead. 3-1 our score sits with 0.8 remaining in the first quarter.
That's just a hustle play right there. Take it down, find a way to get a pass over to an open player who takes a quick shot to the top, and Heritage is going to look at that one and say that just was not well played by our defense at all. But you got to give props to Lake Highland for taking advantage of the opportunity.
No doubt about that. And the LHP chants erupting in the crowd from the Highlanders faithful. And awaiting a whistle here. And that'll wrap up our first quarter of play. Lake Highland Prep taking an early lead, 3-1 over the American Heritage Delray Stallions. Do not go anywhere. We are going to take a brief break. You are watching the Florida Girls High School Lacrosse State Championship Final for Class 1A on the NFHS Network.
Switter's got to get a couple more possessions. They're dependent on her in this part of the game, not only to win possessions, but to win to herself and start the fast break. So we'll see that what happens here with the different matchup. But Heritage has got to get the ball into the offensive end and start to get to work.
Well, this moment right here could spark a possible opportunity for Switter to find her footing. We'll see if she can deliver. The draw is up. She nearly has it. Great stick check there from Nassau. And just like that, the Stallions maintain possession for the first time this quarter.
That's a nice play by Wolfold to win the ground ball in traffic and pull it back out and around instead of trying to weave her way through the extra defense there.
Wolfold, the leading scorer for the Stallions on the season, nearly extending upon that total there. But she just misses it over the top left. Great save there from Kiraz once again.
Trip there.
Stallions entering from the end line here. They feed it up to the top. Nearly had an opportunity there, but a great job by the Highlanders of interfering through the passing lane.
Just getting sticks in the right position. That really wasn't there. It wasn't a great decision.
Addison Line there on the steal. And the Highlanders making a push once again. Switter hits the deck initially.
Looks like a call against entering the halo above the head. Got a free position coming up.
I believe it is Gwen Nassau awaiting her attempt. In running stance here. Nassau approaching, feeds it inside instead. And nearly a phenomenal goal, or a phenomenal feed to a great goal for Ventura, but she got a tad bit too eager there.
That was there because the Heritage Delray defender shifted off the low end there. And that opened up the ability of the off-ball player to cut towards the goal. And if she had caught the ball, it's probably a goal. That was great recognition by Lake Highland of the shift of the defense and what they could do to take advantage of it.
Marley Sanchez taking a couple hits there from the Highlanders force, looking like a pinball in a pinball machine. They regain possession, circling the goal circle, and they sneak one in over the top.
Swirsky.
And it is indeed Lily Swirsky, the senior attacker, finding herself on the board for the first time today for the Stallions. And they cut the deficit to just one as they trail 3-2 with 9:13 remaining here in the second quarter.
That's kind of what we call a bit of a gritty goal. It wasn't pretty. A little bit of a bobble, stayed with it, and was able to find the far side of the net.
Very amusing you say that, Lee. Is me and Brian Ackley during our basketball commentary consistently went back to that saying, gritty, not pretty, for a lot of these high school matchups. So ironic you mentioned that here for our girls lacrosse championship matchup.
Feel free to use it.
Switter and Nassau facing off here, or excuse me, awaiting the draw here.
As you can tell, the multiple referees in the stands are back.
Every game is going to have the occasional armchair quarterback.
Or offensive line.
Scramble for the ground ball. Possession awarded to
Lake Highland.
the Highlanders, and they're on the push here.
One thing that Lake Highland does try to do, particularly Jaskowitz, is she's very fast off the restart. She tries to get the advantage going forward and get a step or two on the pack around the ball, and sometimes it leads to odd women rushes. Very effective.
And it was a great stick check initially there from Jamie Wolfel as she jarred the ball loose briefly, but the Highlanders were able to regain possession. Very spaced out approach here, navigating through passing lanes. Jaskowitz feeds it back into X.
Reeling the ball around, inside, posting up.
And
Good defense.
And nearly an opportunity inside there for Sally Flynn, but she was cut off by a strong Stallions defense force. As Catherine Devonzo, battling through the contact there, hits the deck, and she gets the call in her favor.
Too far outside the 8-meter arc, so we're back to the 12-meter.
As Devonzo chooses instead to feed it back outside of Jaskowitz, they will reset here. Here goes Jaskowitz. Nearly had an opportunity there on the step through. She
just lost her balance, slid into the crease, and that's the turnover. That's just a common theme of this field. If you forget that you can't stop quickly or lean into cuts on this field. It is a bit of a slippery field.
The turf monster striking once again.
Gotta be careful. She's running herself into the double. Escaped nicely.
And here goes Jamie Wolfel.
Swirsky got half a step. Pulled back out.
Possible opportunity here for the Stallions to tie the ball game. Switter has it at the top of the key.
Trying to draw the shooting space. Defender was too close. Another great save.
Cynthia Quiroz, have yourself an absolute day.
Vargas got inside, was able to turn. Quiroz read the shot.
And the Highlanders back on the move here. Addison Line had it, feeds it over to Elizabeth Ferris.
I think both teams remembered that even though the yellow line is the boundary, it's probably safer to play the white line if you can. The way these two teams play, the last thing you want to do is throw away one or two possessions just because you lost your place on the field.
Piper Bell has it near the right wing. Feeding it over to Madison Park. She gets inside leverage initially. And what was nearly a strong defensive stand for the Stallions instead, turns into a penalty against Bailey Bosley. And what a phenomenal job there Catherine DeVonzo did, dodging her way through the alley, but an even better save there from Ashley Egbert.
I think we're getting a yellow here. First yellow of the day. Number 2, McQuillan D'Amico. Heritage Delray woman up. First thing, clear the ball and avoid the double team on the right here. Don't get trapped on the sideline.
And Heritage Delray is making a charge up the left wing. She keeps her footing and she successfully finds her way up the field. Madison Vargas feeds it into X. To Swirsky. Back to Wolfel.
Both teams looking to try to find an opening in the middle.
Here goes Switter. She pumps a couple times. Looking for an open opportunity. She goes for the underhanded scoop and score, but she misses it just a tad bit wide left. And the Highlanders.
That's just a bad call on the backup. Clearly Heritage had the ball, had the backup on that call. Not sure what the heck the ref was looking at on that one.
And here goes Elizabeth Ferris. Initially navigating up the right wing, making her way back towards midfield. And they will reset, passing in amongst their defense line. 3:38 remaining here. The Highlanders lead the Stallions 3-2.
Unfortunately, they didn't put the time of the penalty up.
Highlanders on the move. Gwen Nassau has it initially. Feeds it to DeVonzo.
Heritage is playing tight, but they're not really trying to get the double team with the woman up position that they're in.
And two-woman operation between DeVonzo and Nassau. Nassau finding Ventura along the end line. She hits a nasty spin move there over her weak shoulder. Very patient approach here from the Highlanders. And here goes Jaskowicz. She gets the initial step on the first defender. Trying to find an opening, and they will bounce it back outside once again as Ventura drifts into X.
Again, just probing, seeing if you can find the opening, see if you can find a backdoor cut. We're back to, we should mention we're back to even strength.
A great save there from Sophie Van Mark de Lumen. They feed it back into Van Mark de Lumen. Nearly had an opportunity there, but a great recovery from the Stallions. They feed it to Jaskowicz. Back up top. And a great series of saves there from Egbert.
That's where going downhill, getting your speed up before you reach out for the ball and the pass is coming your way, that's where it's very effective. They set that up very well, just took their time, very patiently waited for that opportunity to get the right angle going towards the goal.
And just like that, 55 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Got to push, but we don't have a free position on this one.
The Highlanders inbound to here. Attacking via the left side. Jaskowicz may have had an opening, but once again, the Stallions holding strong on the defensive front.
They're definitely shading to double team her before she gets going, weaving towards the goal, trying to take that away.
Ventura has it, feeding it over to Van Mark de Lumen. She hits a stutter step, fakes the half spin, finds the inside cutter, and Gwen Nassau nearly has the finish in the bottom left corner. The whistle blows.
I don't think that the Heritage Delray coaching staff is thrilled with with that one.
And they're awaiting a clock stoppage here.
Okay, that's it. First half, 3-2. Pretty much on the pace for the 6-5.
And we welcome you back here to what has been a neck-and-neck matchup thus far between the Lake Highland Prep Highlanders and the American Heritage Delray Stallions. 3-2, the Highlanders lead in the hopes of going back-to-back here in the 1A Class State Championship for the girls division. And Lee, what has been a display of phenomenal goaltending thus far on both teams' accounts?
That, and to be honest, I don't think either team really has a lot of wrinkles to change right now. When I looked at how that half played out, the teams know that they're not going to get a lot of opportunities. They know that they have to close their opportunities when they get them. And I think it's not a matter of what to look for and what to change. I think it's just a matter of, will you finish your chances at this point? I didn't really see a whole lot of things out there that if I went into the locker room, I said, we got to change this, this, and this. Now, I just wanted to point out something that I saw at the end of the first half. This entire Thursday, Friday, Saturday weekend, they made an effort to separate the teams as they were walking off at halftime, just to keep any sort of chat, and that's putting it kindly, between the teams. These two teams walked off together, and at the end, Chris Robinson and John McLean were the last two in the locker room walking together, chatting. So when we talk about the respect that each has for the other's program, you just saw it right with your own two eyes.
Things you love to see here in this sport. We are just about underway as the Highlanders once again approach the draw in similar fashion how they started this game with Sally Flynn. And for the Stallions, as per usual, Emma Switter. Possession awarded to the Highlanders here as Flynn is on the attack up the midfield. It is crucial that the Stallions put forth a better effort from the standpoint of the draw is that has been what has dominated about 90% of the matchups that we have witnessed thus far this week. Hopefully they can do better moving forward.
This is also the type of game where you try to get your star players opportunities and see if they can throw an extra one or two in there. Jaskowitz, obviously, on Lake Highland has really been the one player who's been able to flash in and find openings and create. And also on the side of Heritage Del Rey, Svirsky's done that. Vargas has done that. Switter has not been a major part of the offense yet. Warfel either. So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for star players to make a play. Oh, that was an unforced error.
Bobble there
on the ground
ball. And Jamie Wolfel.
4 on 3 if they see the trailer. See the trailer.
Wolfel stops on a dime, feeds it back up top.
Ooh. Okay, we got a whistle.
And Brittany.
The shot was off the post. So a bit of an unlucky break there for a really nice 4 and 3 created by an unforced error in the offensive zone. And now we're going to have a free position shot.
Stepping up to the plate is Brittany Friedman, the junior attacker here. We'll see if she comes in full steam ahead or if we have a backdoor cut, of some kind. Friedman ready to pounce.
There was the cut. Just the pass was slightly off.
Targeting Vargas on the cut around the goal circle.
It's a nice recovery by Lake Highland. It looked like Heritage had them scrambling around on defense to create an opening, but Heritage was able to rotate back and cut off that opportunity.
Vargas feeding it back into X. And phenomenal on-ball pressure there from the Highlanders as they once again regain possession, and Elizabeth Ferris.
That was a great double team. Great double team by Highland behind the goal, and the Heritage offense didn't react to it and give her an opening to make a pass to get out of the double team.
Great job on the clear here. Addison Line had initial possession. She feeds it back into Van Mark DeLumen. And now Elizabeth Ferris feeding up the right wing. Jamie Wolfel absolutely relentless on the defensive end, nonstop on-ball pressure. Great ball fake there from Van Mark DeLumen. A lot of holes in front of the goal here for the Highlanders if they choose to strike, but great on-ball defense once again from the Stallions.
Wow. Each team just makes it so hard to clear the ball.
And a great effort there once again from Van Mark DeLumen as she earns the Highlanders an additional opportunity here.
And it's not just that they'll get a stick on a ball. I mean, they're doing it deep in their offensive territory when they're riding. So nothing comes easy in a game with these two teams.
No doubt about that. Sally Flynn had it initially.
Nice recovery.
Molly Connolly has it, attempting to navigate. And here goes Lily Ventura. Feeding it to the cutter, and they deliver. Sophie Van Mark DeLumen on a phenomenal sequence of events, both offensively and defensively on her end, gets the job done. And now the Highlanders lead by 2 with 7:08 remaining in the third quarter.
Again, we just watched behind the net, patiently waiting for an angle and for a backdoor cut where we take advantage of the angle. Eventually they found it.
And that was practically a one-woman show as Van Mark de Lumen attributed to the clear, and then she jarred the ball loose on the defensive end, and then she regained possession once again on the cut and made the possession count with a strike into the back of the cage. Phenomenal all-around effort there from the 5 in red.
Flynn back into the face-off circle. Time for Switter to start to win some of these.
And the ball is nearly up, and possession is awarded to the Stallions here. Turning on the Jets is Alexa Podmilsic.
Just deliberate offense on both sides.
Switter awaiting a possible opportunity to swing it to one of the fellow attackers right up against the goal circle. Nearly a great give and go there and a possible opportunity.
Okay, we drew this, the shooting space. Switter was able to draw the shooting space on that one. The defender was just a little bit too far off her.
And Switter's revved up, ready to rock. What has she got in store?
She was, it looks like we're going to redo. Came down, wasn't really able to get a shot off, but the Lake Highland player defender reached around her, and that's going to be called.
Switter now awarded with better free positioning. We'll see if she can deliver on a possible second opportunity. Switter goes.
Entering the arc too quickly from the hash mark.
Third time is the charm here. Switter goes. She nearly
Great
buried
save.
a rocket, but once again,
Kick
guess
save.
who?
Kick save.
Cynthia Kiraz there. And Jaskowitz is turning on the burners, showing the defenders her shoe bottoms. They have an advantage here. 4-on-4. Jaskowitz, a one-woman show.
That's great defense.
Nearly had the opportunity, but the Stallions cut the fun short.
It will be Highland ball.
4-2, the Highlanders lead with 4:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Van Mark de Lumen has it. She feeds it down to Ventura near the left wing. And a great cut near the goal circle.
Oh, wow. Huge save at this point in the game. That was a bit of a mental mistake by the Heritage defense, allowing a player behind the entire defense on the restart. They found her, came in front of the goal. You're going to put that away 9 out of 10 times easily. Great save by Egbert, keeping this a 2-goal margin. We're going to have to remember that one if Heritage comes back to win.
No doubt that could be a point we look back at later in this matchup as Wolfel is on the attack here. A strong defensive stand from Egbert bought the Stallions an additional opportunity, but the Highlanders did not back down on the defensive end as they are back on the push. Here goes Piper Bell. Excuse me, Lee.
Heritage tends to thrive on those clears when you've got the angles and the momentum going forward. But the Lake Island defense read that one, got the sticks into the path of the passing, and that's what caused that turnover.
Here goes Jaskowitz attempting to split the defenders, and she does so well, and she buries a rocket into the back of the cage, extending the lead to 3 for the Highlanders, 5-2 on the scoreboard with 2:52 remaining in the third quarter. Jaskowitz, the premier goal scorer here for the Highlanders on the day.
We were talking about your star players making star plays. Great example of one there. Jaskowitz was able to weave through. She's got a speed and size combination that's very difficult to handle.
No doubt about that, and what a great display of elusiveness there as she dodged her way through the alley and created her own shot opportunity. Here we go once again with Switter and Gwen Nassau. And Nassau wins the draw.
It's well played. Oh, boy.
And I'm not so sure about that push call. It looked like her momentum simply led her out of bounds.
Yeah,
but
I think Heritage got a little bit of a beef of that one.
Regardless, Van Mark DeLumen hits the spin move. Nearly had inside leverage, but she will retreat back to the top of the key.
This game is starting to open up some. You're starting to see a little bit more space available for the offenses. Instead of sitting back and playing a little deeper in, the teams are starting to push back out. That's a nice takeaway.
And a great stick check there from Emma Switter as she jars the ball free from Van Mark DeLumen and earns the Stallions an additional opportunity here. Back on the push.
Heritage could really use a goal right now.
And they're charging for one right now. As Regan Bachman was moving full steam ahead. Bachman back on the attack here. And Devonzo is called for the penalty there.
Got to move the ball a little bit more. Ball's starting to stick, and the stick's a little too long for Heritage. Got a minute left here to be a great time for Heritage to chip away and get this one.
50 seconds remaining. 5-2, the score tally stands in favor of the Highlanders. Can the Stallions bring it within 2? Vargas dances at the top of the key. She strikes on her own accord. And right off the top of the crossbar.
And the backup is Lake Island.
And what an effort there from D'Amico as she hustled to the end line and earns the Highlanders possibly one last shot on goal before the end of the quarter. 15 seconds remaining. The Highlanders in no rush at all. And they're seemingly going to let this one sit out. And that is the end of the quarter. 5-2, our goal stands in favor of the Highlanders. We will take a short break here, but do not go anywhere. You are watching the Florida Girls High School Lacrosse State Championship Final for Class 1A on the NFHS Network.
And here we are. Heritage Delray has got to kind of just chip away. They've got to start to get better looks on offense. They're not used to having been shut down like this, and so it's starting to play a little bit into the decision-making where they're so used to basically controlling individually. That's a good start for Switter to get the draw control.
And a rarity for being shut down is the complete and absolute truth, as when you look at the Stallions' record on the season, currently sitting at 20-1 with their lone loss coming back in March to Valor Christian with a final score of just 9-8. So they're not accustomed to being in a situation like this, but they definitely have the skill set to possibly get back into this one. Vargas has it, finds the backdoor cutter, and Wolfel.
We've got a free position coming up, so that's a good start.
And this could open the floodgates here for the Stallions. Wolfel has it.
Wolfel was able to catch the ball inside and turn. If she was left-handed, it would have been a little easier shot. But being right-handed, she was able to draw the foul and get the free position opportunity.
If you are the Stallions, no better talent you'd like to see in this position than the leading scorer on the year in Wolfel. The only thing standing in her way from a possible 2-point deficit, the brick wall that is Cynthia Quiroz. Wolfel on the push here.
It rolled
and it
in.
just sneaks in.
Nice break for her. Powered her way in.
I almost lost it on the release point. I'm not going to lie to you, Lee, but regardless, a point is a point. And now the Stallions just trail by 2 with 10:35 remaining in this matchup.
And this is, just like last year, Lake Island had this type of lead late in the game, and Heritage Delray was able to, I think it was 6-1 at one point, or 6-2, and it ended at 6-5. And Heritage was able to sort of get their way back into it one by one, and then a little bit of a late rush, but Lake Island was able to hold it off at the end. So we might be seeing a bit of a repeat here.
No doubt about that. Great start here for the Stallions. Would be a victory in the draw here for Emma Switter. She prepares to face off against Gwen Nassau. It is up.
That's a great break there. Well done on the draw control. Open space, easy.
Wolfel on the pump. She hop steps to the left side, nearly has a shot opportunity right at the midst of the goal circle.
Getting another one.
And Wolfel is fired up.
Let's see if this one gets played a little bit differently. She was able to score, but it was kind of a fortunate score. Let's see if she tries to shoot a little bit quicker this time.
And a phenomenal save there once again from Quiroz. Stallions luckily regained possession here.
Hallie Horvath has been very quiet today. It would be a good time for her to start to get into the offense.
Ava Drew had it, pops it out to the right wing. Coming in full speed ahead.
We got another free position coming up, it looks like. Should be. He took his flag out of his pocket and put it back in.
And a great defensive stand from the Highlanders.
I'm not sure what the referee was doing there. It looked like he was ready to call the penalty and just put it back in.
A display of indecisiveness here from the officials. But nevertheless, a call that lies in favor of the Highlanders. And here they go, back on the push. Addison Line leading the charge.
We're going to start to see a little bit of ball control here out of Lake Island.
Unless you have Jaskowitz with a wide open lane, she feeds it down to Ventura. And Ventura makes the wise decision to reset here. Another charge inside. And it bounces off the right post. An unfortunate series of events for Madison Park, but a lucky one if you are Ashley Egbert. And Ventura comes in.
This is, Heritage has got to come to her. They got to give her an outlet. I don't know what the offense, what her teammates are doing there. They got to go to her.
Ventura on the chase. Egbert under pressure. She finally lets one go.
Looks like we got a timeout. John didn't like what he saw at all.
And then
Pod Milsick looks like she'll be putting the ball in play. Good choice to not have your goalie start with it in this situation.
operating near the end line. In comes Pod Milsick. She hits a double move, making her way for the left wing, and she's turning on the Jets. Ventura right on her back. She hits a spin move, and she keeps her footing.
It's a nice clear and a key moment.
Great effort there from Pod Milsick. And here comes Vargas on the cut. And a great slide there from Van Mark de Lumen. She finds Wolfel.
There drew the shooting space. Wolfel's 1 for 2. Let's see if she learned something on the last one.
Coming in at a more left-heavy angle here.
Watch for behind the goal on the left there. I believe that's Svirsky.
We'll see if she goes stick side. And Wolfel is as confident of a scorer as they come. She is like a heat-seeking missile every time. But another strong defensive stand here from the Highlanders. Vargas feeds it back up top to Switter, who gives it to Ava Drew. And there goes Emma Switter.
Big time play by Switter.
She finally has her way. And with that, the score now lies Highlanders 5, Stallions 4, a 1-point deficit with 6:38 remaining. And this has been a low-scoring, hard-nosed defensive showdown with phenomenal goaltending on both ends.
I don't think we expected anything different.
No doubt about that.
And who knows, maybe we'll get that 6-5 final again.
They bring back out Sally Flynn to battle with Switter. We'll see if Switter can continue to build upon the momentum that she has created for herself.
Another big win by Switter.
And here come the Stallions charging down the right wing. All it takes is a couple minute wins in different areas to create a mountain from a molehill.
I try to be cute and tell you what I expect to see, but the fact of the matter is at this point, where these two teams are playing, it's just execution. It's not strategy.
No doubt about that. Ironically, I was going to ask for a prediction on your end, but at this point in time, it really just feels like
play it out, watch it, and enjoy it. Werfel's feeling a lot more confident right now.
Switter feeds it over the top to Ava Drew, and she rips twine. Just like that, we have ourselves a tied ball game, 5 apiece with 5:39 remaining. Ava Drew, how do you do? The Stallion faithful rising to their feet, stomping them against the bleachers and making some noise here at Paradise Coast Stadium. Awaiting the whistle here. She retreats. And Switter has the initial step on it, and she will secure possession once again.
Be careful, getting trapped on the sideline here. Great feed, great look.
Safe to say the second half belongs to Switter. And here we go once again, the Stallions on the move. As Wolfel has possession on the left wing, feeding it to Vargas.
Blake Kylan trying to trap the clear on the sideline, and just a wonderful play to get away from it. Oh, great play by Quiroz, reading that play, jumping the passing lane. We should look back at that one, too, because Heritage had all the momentum going right now, and if that pass gets through, I think it was Swirsky was alone in front.
If the Highlanders manage to find their footing once again and pull the Swan out, I have to say, if there is a woman of the match, it definitely belongs to Cynthia Quiroz. Van Mark DeLumen had it, created a little bit of separation here.
These kids have got to be wearing down at this point, so now it's more of a will to execute and just kind of keeping your composure and getting back to what you know you have to do.
The Highlanders looking to take their time here as there is 4:10 remaining. You don't want to rush a potential shot opportunity. And if you send the Stallions back on the offensive end, you want it to be with a 1-point lead. Jaskowitz taking her time, top left wing. 3:54 remaining.
You know that Jaskowitz is looking to go downhill and hopefully find a seam.
And here goes Ventura circling the goal circle. Retreats back outside. And up the middle goes Devonzo as she is swarmed by a sea of Stallions. And Devonzo from about 12 to 13 out has a free positioning opportunity. But of course, a wall of defenders awaits her, so she will pop it back out to the top of the key and reset here. Great pressure from Reagan Bachman as Ventura eludes.
Here's Jaskowitz winding up.
Here goes Gwen Nassau, full steam ahead. She gets bumped. They jar the ball loose, and the Highlanders are scrambling for it.
Calling a hold.
As Madison Park took a shot there. .230 remaining. And here goes D'Amico. Now Devonzo pumps over the top. Down to Flynn and X. Trying to generate some speed.
Missed 19 in front.
Great on-ball pressure from the Stallions here. D'Amico nearly had leverage there on the inside.
Wow, they're calling a free position.
With 1:42 remaining on a running clock at the moment.
Didn't look like there was that much into that one.
I agree, but if there is a time for the Highlanders to make something happen, no better time than now.
Here's their opportunity.
We'll see what D'Amico does here.
Oh,
She pops it back out. A very selfless play there.
More along the line if she didn't feel she could beat the defender.
But now you have the opportunity, if you are the Highlanders, to milk even more clock and await a final shot opportunity as we are approaching 1 minute left in this matchup. As the Stallions initially jarred the ball free.
Unfortunately, they didn't recognize quick enough the ball had been dislodged. And again, that's a little bit of the fatigue factor late in this game.
Now 40 seconds remaining. Ventura has it. Left wing, Switter with the on-ball pressure. D'Amico cradling it. Now 30 seconds.
Here's Jaskowitz.
Nobody else you want the ball in their hand more than Jaskowitz.
There it is.
As she uncorks an absolute rocket into the back of the bottom left corner of the cage. And just like that, the Highlanders take a 1-point lead with 19.8 remaining. Giselle Jaskowitz, have yourself a day, my friend.
That was what they were trying to do. They got Heritage Del Rey playing on defense for a while. Probably tired them out a little bit with all of the motions they were playing. They get Jaskowitz going downhill. And her athleticism basically gave her a chance to get inside.
And that is now a hat trick on the day for Giselle Jaskowitz. Half of the team's goals thus far in this matchup.
Okay, Heritage Del Rey must win this draw. Got the timeout now. Well, hate to say it, but the score is 6-5.
And just like that, we may have an exact replica of last year's matchup exactly 1 year later. Here we go, 19.8 remaining. The Highlanders lead by 1.
A little bit of a difference in where the circle has been positioned.
I missed if it was Nassau or Flynn or D'Amico, and it is D'Amico. It is up, and the Highlanders have secured possession, and who better than Sophie Van Mark de Lumen?
That was just perfectly won right to her.
She plays a game of keep away. The Stallions are scrambling for a ground ball, and that is all she wrote. The Lake Highland Prep Highlanders girls roster has secured the back-to-back Class 1A state championship.